Well, it's day one. Just got out, had some breakfast at a really, really awesome breakfast place. Some of the best breakfast I've ever had in my life. Got out, did some idling around for probably an hour, hour and a half, found some weeds. First big weed bed that we found that we thought looked really good. Stopped and decided to just fish it. And we went probably 150 feet, just raised the first fish. And the old psycho spin. Musky Mayhem tackle, not really well-known bait. I really, really like this bait though. Super, super loud, thumping spinner bait. Do not have very good water clarity, which kind of sucks, but I'm kind of used to that from back home in the spring, not so much in September. It's a little weird that the water's this dirty, I don't know why, but maybe it just stays dirty, I have no idea. But fish are moving, fish was pretty hot. I did not see it with my eyes until after I saw it with side imaging, then I realized, okay, there's a fish on me. Looked up, and I could barely see that fish, but it was right on it. I don't know why I didn't eat it. But good to know that there's fish here. And this is a very big weed bed, and we've got probably another 150 yards, 200 yards of what I marked out. So we're gonna fish it, probably fish it again, because I don't know this lake. I do not have a topo map of this lake, so I might not be hitting it perfectly, so we're gonna run it again just to see if I need to be in more or out more, but I'm keeping the weeds about 75 feet out from the boat. So we're just landing in the weeds, bringing it last 20, and that's where that fish was, probably sitting right on the edge of those weeds. So hopefully they start biting a little bit better. Guess I can't complain too much. Haven't been here ever this time of year, and first hour and a half we have one up, so hopefully we get some more action here. One thing too I want to talk about when you're coming to a new body of water that you've never been to, there's tons and tons of stuff out there nowadays that like Brad didn't get to have back in the day. A lot of you guys watching didn't get to have back in the day, but one thing I use a lot is just Google Earth or Apple Maps, whatever, just satellite imagery. And this weed bed that we just found on the satellite imagery showed a lot of weeds up shallow. We're fishing out deeper, but it showed a lot of weeds growing up shallow on the shore, and that kind of told me that, okay, that's a good area. There's mud or whatever that the weeds are growing in. So we went over to check it, but I checked out deeper and found a little bit deeper weed bed than what the imagery was actually showing. So if you see it on there and you're like, ah, well, there's weeds there, but they're in a foot of water. Well, those probably aren't holding fish, but generally where there's weeds on the shoreline, there's weeds out a little bit deeper. So always keep that in mind. That's how we found this weed bed. Right now I'm going to swing back up, we're going to hit it one more time, and then we'll go back to idling and see if we can't find another thing very similar to that. Which we found a little bit of weeds in some other places, but not like this. This was definitely the best weed bed that we found so far, but we only idled for maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours. So see what's shaking. Hopefully there's a couple more fish sitting in that weed bed. We have Ryan Becker in the boat from Iowa Muskie Guide Service.
I miss it. It's been a while.
Here's one.
horse him on this side of the boat.
Down in Iowa, like I said, been a little bit of a struggle all day. We've raised some fish, but talking to Ryan, he said that the evening bite's definitely been better, and we've got bit twice now since he's been in the boat. It's getting toward evening. I think he's been catching them a little bit later, so we still got some time to rack up a couple more. But he said the regular double dog has been on fire. He said, Chase, you better throw this thing. You're gonna get wrecked on it. I did. A little bit better fish than I thought it was. I thought it was really small when I first set the hook, but it grew a little bit, so. Let's get this one out of the bag, and so we can capitalize on catching a few more tonight. Well, we just realized that our microphone has not been working for like the last hour. So two things. One, Ryan lost a fish on a Ninja tube. Nice fish. And then I just caught one on a regular double dog. Just popping around some cabbage, fishing kind of the similar stuff what we were fishing earlier, but what we were missing out on is we didn't go in super tight. On a couple of these shorelines that we've fished with Ryan, we did on a couple of them, but not very many. I didn't really think they'd be up that shallow, but he's definitely knows his water more than I do. And we're running his program now, and we're hooking fish, so that's good. Hopefully we get on a few more and you can actually listen to us talk about the fish when we catch it. But we'll keep after it here and hopefully get a couple more, because he's had a lot better luck in the evening, and so far it's been evening and it's definitely, they're biting a lot better, so we're gonna keep after it.
Hey Chase, you seen Carrie around? I haven't seen her anywhere. She's not in her office.
No, I haven't seen her anywhere, but a little bit ago the UPS guy came and I think he had like a giant Team Rhino box. I thought it was yours.
What? A Team Rhino box? I didn't order anything from Team Rhino.
Well, if you didn't order a Team Rhino box and I didn't, she had to. Definitely in the garage hiding from us. Oh yeah, there she is.
Go figure.
All right, I knew it.
She's got the box.
What'd you get?
Nothing?
Shop at teamrhinooutdoors.com for all your musky needs.
20 years of mayhem. Still built right here in the USA. Creating and making history one bait at a time. Catching personal bests in boat season after season. Find Musky Mayhem Tackle at any fine retailer or go direct at muskymayhemtackle.com. Let the mayhem begin.
Well, we've had one fish eat a shallow rig Ninja tube, and then we've had one eat this. And this one got to the net. The fish that I caught was on a regular double dog. This one's kind of chewed up now because it's a bait that Ryan had. He's caught some few fish on it, so I actually wasn't running the best, so I'm not going to take time to melt it. So I put on a Team Rhino custom collar, very similar to what I caught on, but this is Ball Buster. Same thing, regular double dog. Going to try that one. And we're going to move spots now and go hit the same kind of stuff. Ryan said there's been some fish on that. We actually seen one there earlier. So hopefully there's a few more there, and hopefully they're going to bite. We got the right bait now, so we're going to catch them.
Well, that's a wrap on day one. Sun's going down, time to go get something to eat. Kind of a long day, but hey, we seen a bunch of fish. Ryan ended up losing that one right away when he got in the boat. Unfortunately, the audio wasn't on the camera. Had a little bit of mic issues. We're back to normal, I believe. Shortly thereafter, Chase ended up getting that fish. We had a couple more follows. Pretty good, solid day. So looking forward to tomorrow. We have some weather potentially moving in, so hopefully it isn't going to rain the whole day, but we'll see what takes place in the morning. Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah, no problem. Day two, a little later start than what we wanted, but it's been raining all morning. Now it's kind of sunny. I think there's still some stuff that might hit us later, but we'll just have to see on that one. But I'm excited. Got the rest of the day to do this. Ryan dialed us in a little bit more than what we were. We were putting the puzzle pieces together, but wasn't quite getting to where we needed to be. We were a little bit deeper than we should have been. Kind of seems like they pull up shallow and they pull off. They're just doing that really quickly, and I think they're pulling up for sure in the evening. We'll see to make sure. We're going to start up shallow today, and it's midday. We find success early, and then we'll know that they're up there all day, and we should have did that earlier yesterday. But definitely seemed like in the evening they kind of pulled up, and then as the darker it got, the more they pulled off. I kept marking on the side edging behind us. Those fish would not eat. I think Ryan had one of them up, but Ryan's not joining us today. He had to work, so we're going to get to work and hopefully stick a few fish.
I just switched over to Team Rhino, Dying Dog, Albino Cisco. Guess what? First cast, got myself a nice big fish. I think this is going to be the ticket today. Got a little hint of yellow bass on the hook. Unbelievable. First cast, right up into the slop, and a yellow bass.
Well, first one of the day. Just getting back to where we I think I caught the one last night, just 50 or 60 feet from here. First one off the dock though, like I was talking earlier, I was really, really excited to get one off the dock. Roll casted right along that dock, brought it right across the edge of that dock, and the thing came out of there and ate it. So pretty cool. Not a big fish, but it is on the Team Rhino custom collar, regular double dog, ball buster. It's just kind of a very, lots and lots of contrast on this collar. It's very similar to ball liquor, but it's got a gold back to it. But dirty water, orange, black, and white, 3 best collars ever made for musky fishing. So it's got all 3. Very, very good color. She's already unpinned, so I'll get her out and take a look at her. There's the bait. It's regular double dog. What's really special about this bait, I don't really personally own that many. This is actually Ryan's bait. He left us a couple to throw today. What makes this really shine for this is we're fishing very shallow water, like 3 to 4 feet, popping around cabbage, popping around these docks. The double dog has a little bit more hang time with 2 tails, and the smaller size, it's not really that hard to keep it up around those weeds. So it's very, very, very good bait when you're wanting to fish shallow structure like that, especially that cabbage, keeping the bait above it. And just kind of popping it through the holes of the cabbage, popping around the docks. Proof's in the bag there. So get this one out, we'll get some more. Hopefully they start biting a little earlier today. The only thing that's downfall of today is we got a lot of wind. It's making it hard to kind of work a lot of this cabbage and really pick it thoroughly, because you're just getting huge gusts that's just ripping us through there. So let's get this one out, and hopefully we'll get another one. Super little guy. And they got lots of teeth here in Iowa. Pretty little guy. Don't care how big they are as long as we're catching them. I'm happy with that. It's been a very, very tough year, so it's good to get down here and get some fish. Very, very pretty though. Wow. Alright, let's get her back. Look at the chompers on that thing. As you can see, the water's dirty. So I think it's all about just making the right cast to perfectly hit that fish. I don't think they're like in a negative mood or anything. I think it's literally just being able to make that cast and get that bait really close to its head, and then I think they just clamp it. But regular double dog, keeping it shallow, popping around that stuff, nice short pops. It's pushing a lot of water, so they're able to find it a little bit easier. So that definitely seems to be the deal. We'll keep after it here and hopefully get a few more.
Muskie Bumper, a solid measuring platform for your catch. Constructed with strong plastic that floats and stainless steel hardware for years of use. Check us out at fishbumper.com. We measure your success.
Magnum Ventures Inc., a woman-owned company, has you protected when it comes to snow, sand, and wind structural fencing products, providing residential, commercial, governmental, and Department of Transportation options for superior property and roadway protection. Proudly made in the USA, Magnum Ventures structural snow fence reduces the drifting and icing of roadways, decreasing the number of accidents and the need for roadside assistance. Contact Magnum Ventures at www.magveninc.com for your project needs.
And one thing I want to talk about too, this water's not really the best clarity here. And one thing that I do back home, like river fishing or even when the lakes are muddy back home, when I'm throwing rubber, instead of doing longer pulls, I'm doing real short little snaps. And if it's like wintertime and the water's cold, I go a lot slower. I go a little short snap like this. But when it's warm like it is now, I'm just keep hopping that thing in. But I'm doing a lot shorter pops. And the reason I do that is the water's dirty. So you're still getting your pull pause method, but it's not moving very far. That fish can track it down very easily. It's kind of hanging in the same spot. You're not pulling it 5-6 feet and pulling it out of that strike zone or whatever, their visibility zone, I guess would be a better way to put it. But I like to just kind of hop it around a lot, real short, real sharp pulls like that instead of big long slow pulls or big long fast pulls, depending on your water temperature. But water temperature 71, so they're pretty amped up. You can get away with going a little quicker, but I'm doing a lot shorter little hops. That bait's only moving 1.5 feet, maybe 2 feet at most. Just something to think about if you got a little bit dirtier water. Do a little bit shorter, sharper pops. Something else too I want to talk about, it's kind of something that I've learned back home river fishing and doing a lot of structure fishing. When I'm structure fishing, and what I mean by that is like target fishing. So I got lots of little pocket, short, choppy casts. Instead of doing this, cast it to the spot. One, you're splashing really big, which I don't really think matters too much, but you're taking a lot more time. What I like to do is do this, roll cast right over there. Now I'm instantly fishing. Two things that's going to do. One, you're going to have a little bit less of a splash. Two, you're way more efficient. In my opinion, that's what makes a good fisherman very good, is he's very efficient. Makes a lot of casts, a lot of really accurate casts. And I'm making a lot more casts than a guy that's going to be sitting here doing this. Because if you got to go overhead every time, I just made those 3 casts. Now I got to do a figure 8, pull it up, slide out there, like that. And when you're making short casts, overhead casts are not going to be as accurate as underhand casts. So it's kind of like bass fishing, which is probably where it kind of developed from, for me at least. But I'm just roll casting like that right there. Another thing too, like this place, we've got a lot of docks. I'm skipping that bulldog up under those docks. And the way to skip a bait, which no one really talks about musky fishing because there's not really many situations where you need to skip a bait. But back home when we got the rivers, water's up, got lots of trees overhanging, lots of bushes, so I want to get that bait back in there. You just want to leave out a little bit of line, roll cast. And basically the key is to try to keep that bait parallel with the water, basically from here. So if you're coming in like that, up and over, you're just going to hit the water. If you want to try to get that bait parallel to the bank, or parallel to the water level, and it'll skip that bait up under those docks. And yes, I have snagged quite a few docks already in the last 2 days, but that's the name of the game when you're doing that. So keep that in mind. You want to cover a lot of water. You're fishing really short to the shore, really lots of targets to hit. Try that a little bit. Do a little side cast like that. You'll make a lot more casts. Doesn't wear you out nearly as much. And it's very, very easy. Kind of working the same shoreline that we've been working. A lot of these shorelines are basically the same, just docks and cabbage. This one seems to be pretty good. Went by a dock, marked fish on side imaging, backed up, made a couple throws in there with a regular double dog, nothing. So I took it off and put on a Bondi Royal Orba. And the reason I did that is the Royal Orba runs kind of shallow, and it's got blades on it and a tail, so it's kind of pushing some more water. And the reason I did that is the water is a little dirtier here. Because the wind's been pounding on this all day. Kind of calming down now because it's supposed to switch. But anyways, I put it on to disturb a little bit more water, and I got bit. So I've seen that fish on side imaging sitting right off the end of a dock. Backed up a little bit, made a couple throws in there, and she smoked it, which she actually took my tail, so that's great. Better fish for sure. Really, really nice to get another one. Should just keep smoking them throughout the evening here. We had a little bit of a heat wave / thunderstorm hit midday, so kind of had to take a little break on it, but we're back out now and we are chomping away. So hopefully this is one of many this evening. Let's get her out. Better fish. Nice fat one. Really fat fish. There we go. Super fat fish. A lot nicer fish. Oh wow, they're amped up. Hang out with me. Calm down. Quit swimming. You're not in the water. Gee whiz, that thing's strong. Wow. That's going to be a nasty on the old hand. Alright, let's get this puppy back. Giant tail on that thing. Super fish. Oh, you hurt my tail or my hand. Kind of an upward nose. You see that? She must always swim shallower. Super thick fish down here in Iowa though. They're eating good, growing fast. Oh yeah. Sweet. Iowa's a cool place. These things they like to be shallow, that's for sure, but there's a lot of bait up shallow. A lot of that yellow bass, I think is what they call it, really similar to a white bass. But they're eating good, they're growing fast. There's some big fish in here too. Just gotta wait till one of the big ones pull up and we can get a cast on it. That looks cool, doesn't it? Super, super cool. Better do that than dropping them. I just hold on to them, let them cut me up. I don't care. It looks cool when you go brag to your buddies that you caught a fish. Wounded Orba. Dying bait fish pattern. Well, that one's toast, so I'm going to go complete opposite and use a black one. I don't think it matters. They're just hearing it, feeling it, eating it. If you haven't noticed, I got a little bit of a cold going on right now. It's kind of kicking my butt today. I'm not going to lie. I need to retie that. You know, one thing too to keep in mind when you're fishing docks, I've seen this back home, I've seen it in Minnesota, and I've seen it here now. When you're fishing docks, there's obviously tons of docks going down through there. You want to look for the irregular docks, like the ones that stick out a little farther, or maybe one has a lot of boats on it, or has a lot of cover on it. Just anything to make that dock different. Those will generally have those fish sitting on it. That dock in particular I just got that fish on kind of is a 45-degree angle, which is pretty much the only dock that we've seen that's like that. Is that why that fish was there? I don't know, but it does have an irregularity compared to all the rest of the docks down through here. There's tons and tons of docks. But generally the longer ones are good because they have a little bit more depth on them. Those fish will sit on that little bit deeper dock. But like that one that fish was on was a 45-degree angle dock. It was sitting there. And that's a different kind of dock than the rest of them. So keep that in mind, and this lake also has wooden docks and it's got metal docks. We've caught fish off of both now, so I don't know if it's truly a thing, but just anything that makes a dock different is what I would cast to. We're really wanting to cast in beside them, along them. And another thing too is when your boat, you're casting like this to it. Once your boat gets past it, don't be afraid to get back and make a different angle to it that you didn't make going this way. It's kind of like bass fishing. I'm going to say this is bass fishing style muskies, that's for sure. Kind of flipping, pitching, making short little choppy casts. Very, very target rich environment here as far as cabbage bed and docks. And they're holding on to both. And just whatever's up there, that's what they're sitting in. It's making lots and lots of casts to that stuff.
Well, that's a wrap here in Iowa. Good day and a half of fishing, chasing it up with 3, lost the 1. Had a couple other fish come up, check things out, but just couldn't seal the deal. Again, for the 3rd time today, rain. So we had to wrap this one up. Thanks for watching, and join us next week with another show.